What's going on, fellow Halloween and Michael Myers fans, and welcome to a new video here. I'm going to be talking about Halloween Returns, which is slated to be released in 2016, and let's hope it's not like other movies in the Halloween franchise that were either A, canceled or B, delayed. So let's hope we actually get this movie in 2016. And it is supposedly going to be a direct sequel to Halloween 2 from 1981. So definitely quite interesting here. They're going back, but they're not going all the way back. This is not another reboot like Rob Zombie's movies. And this is certainly not a sequel to Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 from 2009. And let's thank God for that, because wow, that movie was bad. So, I actually did this with Star Wars The Force Awakens, where I talked about where these movies should go. So this time I wanted to talk about Halloween Returns, because we're in the very, 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 very early stages of this movie. We know nothing about it. We don't know any of the cast. In fact, I don't know if anybody's even been casted. And there's a bunch of crazy rumors flying around. One going around that Robert Englund could be playing Dr. Loomis, which I'm praying to God is not true. I love Robert Englund, but no, he is not Dr. Loomis, and never could be and never will be. Even if they do cast him in that, I will never like that. So let's hope that's not true. So basically what we're talking about today is where should this movie go? Now, we already know a little bit about it. As I said, it's a direct sequel to Halloween 2 1981, so this is the true sequel that we never actually really received. Because if you guys are a huge fan of this franchise, which I'm guessing that most of you are, that's why you clicked on this video, this movie, Halloween 2 1981, of course, the original Halloween 2, actually did not get a true sequel, and instead they did Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, which, as you know, was infamously known as not including Michael Myers, and it's got mixed reviews. I personally really enjoy the movie, but I can understand people's anger about Michael not being in it. Definitely ridiculous that it was even called Halloween 3. It should have just been called Season of the Witch. And then we got Halloween 4 in 1988, I think. And Halloween 4 didn't have any connection to Halloween 2, so therefore it really wasn't a direct sequel. Instead, it was almost kind of it was pretty much like them reviving the movie, so to speak, the movies, so to speak, because in Halloween 4, 5, and 6, which is my favorite, they all pretty much connected with the whole Thorn storyline, and then they kind of resetted everything again with H2O and Resurrection, and then finally resetted everything again with an actual reboot with Halloween, with Rob Zombie's Halloween in 07, and then of course the terrible sequel in 2009. So Michael definitely needs some new life breathed into him, but they're doing something incredibly interesting here. But this is not the actual first time something like this has been done. If you guys actually think back, and if you're actually a huge horror fan like myself, you would know that the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Leatherface, actually received this treatment, sadly, just a couple years ago, when we got Texas Chainsaw 3D, which was, not only was the fucking name ridiculously bad, but the movie was insanely bad. But the thing I did like about that movie was that it was a direct sequel to the first 1974 original movie, which we never really got a true Texas Chainsaw Massacre sequel. Unfortunately, that was just god-awful terrible, but I think it came out in 2013. Maybe not, maybe later, I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to erase that movie from my mind, so anyway, back to Michael Myers. So this is a direct sequel to 1981's Halloween 2, and supposedly one of the cops, not the big cop played by that guy with the last name Cyphers, but the cop that told the sheriff guy that his daughter was dead, Annie, when Annie was killed. Supposedly this guy is going to be returning, or at least his character, and that's all we really know. Obviously, people like Jamie Lee Curtis and others cannot return unless they want to just cast somebody new as Jamie Lee. I mean, I'm sorry. Yeah, they want to cast somebody as Jamie Lee Curtis, really, Keith. They want to cast somebody new as Laurie Strode and just call her Laurie Strode. Personally, I don't really like this idea. Them doing a direct sequel to Halloween 2 is cool. Do I think it was really needed? No, I really don't. I honestly would have been completely okay with them just, you know, with them just completely rebooting it. But one of the things that I really like is that the director actually said, the two guys that are working on this, they did The Collector, right, which I was a big fan of, so I'm definitely not too scared about these guys taking the reins from Rob Zombie. is that they said that they wanted to take Michael back to his roots, so to speak, and they also said that they want his mask to at least resemble the 1978 original mask, which is tremendous news. So basically they're saying they want to take Michael back to the way he was in the original film or films, and they want him to have his mask at least resemble that of Halloween 1 from 1978. So this is definitely big news. This is great news. This is something that we've all been waiting for. We've been waiting for them just to bring back the Michael Myers that we all once knew and loved. And in my opinion, where this movie should go is it should be, obviously they're doing a direct sequel to the to Halloween 2 from 1981. I think that what they should do is just have Michael Myers burned up a little bit, because as you guys know, in the ending of the movie, he and Dr. Loomis actually go and get burned up together in the end of the movie, because that was actually supposed to be the end of the movies. And then once Halloween 3 came out, people were really angry, and they're like, okay, and they brought Michael Myers back in Halloween 4. So I think that they should just maybe pick up a year or two. Well, actually, let me correct myself. Actually, it's been confirmed that this movie is not a direct sequel where it's going to take place right after, but this is going to take place about 20 years after the event, which would actually be putting it in the year 2001. So this movie does take place in the past, but it doesn't, it's not a reboot or anything like that. It is a sequel, and I don't know, they're just going to play off of that. It's going to be like 20 years down the road. So maybe they could get an older woman to play Laurie Strode that resembles Jamie Lee Curtis. I'm completely okay with that. Or they could put Jamie Lee Curtis in the role and maybe de-age her with some, maybe take away some of her aging in her face with CGI. They've been doing that in recent movies. I don't see Jamie Lee Curtis coming back even if she was offered, just because, you know, Jamie Lee Curtis, she's been pretty much done with the franchise, and she even admitted that the movies weren't that really good anymore, and she just didn't want to really associate herself with it. This movie could breathe new life into the movie, so maybe this will bring people back and say, you know, old school fans, and maybe they'll say, yes, finally a true Halloween movie I can get behind. I haven't been able to have a real Halloween since, you know, Halloween 2 from 1981, so maybe possibly it's going to happen, but I just don't see her coming back. I don't really know what they're going to do with this. It's very, very interesting. Where I think it should go is I definitely think that they need to keep I think they definitely need to keep both of them connected. You know, I think they need to keep it connected to the Halloween 2 movie, and they need to keep it connected to the first Halloween, and they need to bring back characters that survived, you know, kind of like what they did in H2O when they brought back the nurse from the first movie. They brought her back in the very opening of H2O, which was really cool, because it's like, okay, characters from the past that survived can come back and maybe get killed off. Now, another rumor coming out of this is that Halloween Returns will also be featuring relatives of main characters, such as Laurie Strode. Now, this I'm okay with to a point. It kind of reminds me of what Disney and Lucas Film is doing with The Force Awakens, where they're bringing in, you know, the next generation. So, hey, you know what, that's cool too. As long as this is all done right, as long as Michael Myers is Michael Myers, there's no bullshit, there's no ridiculous storytelling, there's no ridiculous stuff that's just unbelievably stupid, I can completely get on board with this. I'm very excited. I'm hoping to see a trailer sooner than later, but sadly, it's in such the early stages of being made that we probably won't be seeing anything official for quite some time. But hopefully, this time next year, we will be seeing it in theaters, and I really hope that they knock it out of the ballpark. So, I'm going to wrap it up here, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave in the comments below what you think. Do you think Halloween Returns should be a direct sequel to Halloween 2, or do you think that they should have rebooted it? Do you think they should have made a sequel to Rob Zombie's Halloween 2? Or do you think they should have just completely retired the series, which obviously isn't going to ever happen, and I'm actually one of those people that don't want that to happen. And how do you feel about Halloween Returns? I like the name myself. I actually think it's quite fitting because we're returning to the roots, we're returning to the real Michael Myers, but some people may not like it. Anyway, this is Zeke Carnes. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next. Take it easy.